Hey guys, Isno here. The Apex community has long since been arguing over pubs and ranked in relation to which one is more difficult, which one you should prioritize for getting better at the game, and which one will actually teach you how to play the game. A lot of pros have weighed in on this subject, and the usual thing they tell people is that if you want to get better at the game, you should hot drop in pubs and keep going until you magically ascend the throne of mechanical and technical aspects of the game. But let me preface this by saying something a bit controversial. I don't think the professional players have the slightest understanding of how the casual player base performs. Even when most, if not all, pros were just beginning in the game, they were already gifted in FPS games. They had already conquered the biggest hurdle for most players, aiming consistently enough to be an asset and not a liability to your team. Not only that, most of them have always 3 stacked. So while yes, to most pros, it would make sense to no-fill hot drop in pubs, but the rest of the casual player base, it is not an optimal option. Not only is it usually not fun, but it is like giving someone all the wrong answers and expecting them to pass the test. Sometimes if you live in the shadows of the pros you admire, you might feel like you are bathing in pure light, but you are only surrounded by your own ignorance. I consider myself a fairly average Apex player. The highest rank I've ever gotten was D1, and that was solo queuing. But I never managed to get higher than that. I do good one game, go positive, and then 3 games where my teammates would hot drop and die, which in the world of RP, it became mathematically impossible for me to climb higher than that. But then again, I've never really had a team to play with, ever. Still, I think my perspective is a bit more grounded. Not only do I not get paid to play this game, but I also am not talented enough to have my gaming abilities sustain my lifestyle. I fall into the category of player that plays after working full time and going to college full time. So the hours I put into the game are pretty limited, but it is a game I enjoy playing even when I don't enjoy playing it. We're going to tackle pubs first because the game pretty much forces you to play pubs until you reach a certain level, and once you've reached that level, you are able to play ranked. Apex Legends uses a rudimentary skill based matchmaking system, which basically means it tries to pair you up with people of similar level, similar time played, and similar KD ratio. So you might be asking yourself, if I'm a point 0.8 KD with about 100 lifetime wins, why whenever I get put into pubs am I facing a full 3 stack of former Preds or Masters? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Skill-based matchmaking in Apex Legends is complete dog shit. Newer players will notice this the same as anyone else eventually. A lot of Battle Royale games will put brand new players in lobbies that the rest of the community consider bot lobbies. The reason for this is they don't want newer players to get immediately discouraged from having fun playing the game, and getting dumpstered on by high skill players is usually the fastest way to ensure that a new player uninstalls and never comes back. This phenomenon was constantly present in Fortnite, among other titles, due to the sudden skill gap. New players in Fortnite will load into a lobby with maybe 1 or 2 actual real players, and the rest are bots. When I tested this out after never really playing the game, I won 5 games in a row without having a single clue what I was doing. Once I had won against enough bots, I was put in an actual lobby, and I got my back blown out harder than Sharon Lee does on a daily basis. The jump will go from a player building a single ramp and a wall to some cracked out 14-year-old double-binded editing towards you like it's the finals in the Fortnite World Cup or some shit. Apex Legends has a similar skill gap, but a significantly smaller player base with roughly around an average of 400,000 players online at one time. Fortnite typically ranges in the millions of active players at one time, and this can easily be reflected in how fast queue times are with Fortnite and how the servers never seem to be laggy until you hop in ranked. So the odds of you running into a cracked out team in Apex Legends is significantly higher than in Fortnite, especially in pubs. Once you've passed a threshold of around level 10 to 15, the bot lobbies will stop and Apex Legends will start throwing you into the meat grinder. Even if you have an extraordinarily low KD, it will still throw you in lobbies that are extremely top heavy. Top heavy is a term used to describe a very unbalanced lobby. Essentially, maybe half the lobby is high tier players or less, and the bottom half are little Timmies that are used by the top half to fish for clips or pad KDs. Kind of like how every dystopian movie ever made, the top just absolutely fucks the bottom. In pubs, you have three choices: drop hot, maybe die, and go back to the lobby; drop hot, win off spawn, and realize there are only 8 teams left before the first circle even closes; or drop safe, spend 15 minutes looting and encountering a full 3 stack that killed the rest of the lobby with about 25 combined kills. Teammates in pubs, especially when solo queuing, are essentially worthless. In ranked, you cannot leave the game until your banner expires, lest you incur an abandoned match penalty and are unable to play the game in any form for 10 minutes. Your teammates in pubs will most likely solo send a full 3-man, again trying to get that clip for TikTok or whatever, instantly get downed and instantly quit. If you even manage to win the fight after that, you are now a man down in the game, and the game heavily favors full teams over duos or solos. Now, there is an aspect of skill-based matchmaking that both pubs and ranked share. If you 3-stack, as in have a full team in the pre-game lobby, it is more likely to put you in a game with other 3-stacks, and mostly masters and pred players 3-stack, even though it is kind of cringe. You are more likely to encounter a solo queue Wraith or Pathfinder TTV if you solo queue. They aren't confident enough to solo queue without Phil just yet, so they intend to use you as a res machine, and if you aren't immediately following them wherever they go, they'll probably call you dog shit or just quit when they inevitably die. The main problem with Apex Legends pubs is the skill-based matchmaking seems to prioritize distance from server and filling a lobby before actually gauging whether or not the lobby will be balanced. Basically, Apex Legends will launch a lobby and just pull random people in queue into it regardless of skill level or KD. This is why pubs, to a lot of people, feel more difficult. There is no teamwork from randoms, there are no comms from randoms, and the entire lobby feels like everyone is just going for clips or trying to get high kills. In this sense, pubs can't really be considered for casual play, as the more casual the player, the less likely they are to enjoy pubs once they've progressed to the point where the game no longer cares about enforcing skill-based matchmaking. Now, let's look at ranked. Once you pass the initial pub stage of Apex Legends, you have the option of playing ranked. Ranked is usually broken into 2 splits, both of which expand across the current season and usually have different map and weapon rotations. The highest rank you achieve across both splits is the ranked awards you receive at the end of the split, which is usually just a dive trail to indicate ranked, blue, purple, or red. The rewards, however, do expire, so you don't keep it forever. RP, KP, and PP are the things you care about in ranked. KP is your kill points based on how many kills and assists you received in that match. PP is your placement points based on how many teams were alive when you died. RP is the overall ranked points you receive for the match based off of PP and KP. There's an entry cost for every match, and the cost varies depending on your rank. It can be anywhere from 0 to -75 and higher. Ranked has 8 tiers. Recruit, which is where you start if you are new and you can only be in it once. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, masters, and the top 750 players are awarded the title of Apex Predator. Recruit, bronze, and silver are widely considered to be the meat grinder lobbies. These are relatively new players and their skill level varies, but it's usually pretty easy to run through them if you're semi-decent at the game. Gold to platinum is considered one of the more difficult jumps for players to make, with platinum to diamond being almost impossible unless you consistently get kills and place high. The majority of the player base usually falls between gold and diamond in terms of overall skill level, with significantly smaller percentages reaching masters and predator. Skill-based matchmaking follows a similar order in pubs, however it now has a new additive: rank. It will usually put recruits with other recruits, bronze or silver. It usually will put gold with silver or platinum, etc., etc. Generally, the rank will stretch within 1 or 2 tiers of your current rank. As such, any player that is ranked Diamond, Masters, or Predator cannot be put in your lobby. This system seems to be working pretty well for lower ranks, but runs into similar problems at higher ranks. Lately, Predator players, as in the top ranked in the world, have been running through lobbies composed mainly of Platinum and Diamond players. Respawn allegedly put out a patch to fix this, but it seems to be still a consistent thing. Masters players will be getting paired with Platinum and even sometimes Gold players. This again is due to the same problems as before. A long time ago, Apex Legends had implemented a rank system that everyone loved because Masters and Predators could only load into the lobbies with other Masters and Predators. This led to the queue times being upwards of 30 minutes, as there were usually only 2 or 3 Pred lobbies in rotation at a time. But it also led to quite possibly the most skill-defining time for Apex Ranked Instead of predators being paired with platinums and diamonds and dropping 20 plus kills a game, they were fighting other predators and usually other pro teams. However, this change was almost immediately reverted in the next split, seemingly to lower the queue times for the higher ranks. Essentially, the higher you get, the more likely you are to run into another top-heavy lobby. However, the benefits of ranked usually outweigh the negatives. It is an excellent way to learn how to navigate a lobby that actually cares about winning or losing, when to take fights, and learn how to define your ability to rotate properly. Your teammates will also be unable to leave until their banner expires, which means there's always a chance to make a comeback and you can't have any rage quits. The only downside of ranked is that if you are consistently paired with better players, your own rank will be artificially inflated. In the past, there have been previous splits of ranked where players were easily able to reach Master's rank, and once the difficulty was increased, the same players found that they were unable to climb Diamond and were struggling to get through Platinum. Basically, you are not the rank you think you are, as the system or split determines your rank based on your performance. There's a chance you might reach a rank you should probably not be at yet. However, the new rank system will demote you if you consistently underperform, seemingly in an attempt to fix artificial rank inflation and encourage players to actually try. In previous seasons, players would reach the rank of Master, be unable to derank back down to Diamond, and use this time to practice their drops, or just grief other players. A full Masters team could die off spawn 10 times in a row and receive no punishment for it and still be the rank of Masters. Now, with tier demotion in place, if you fall below the threshold of 4 RP for your rank, you will have 3 games to pass it before you are demoted. Now, you'll still run into players that are smurfing or generally toxic or completely unresponsive with no comms, but that's just Apex in general. I think just the extra layer of skill-based matchmaking thrown into ranked, even if it still occasionally throws you into a meat grinder lobby, is way superior to pubs. Pubs are where the wannabe TTVs go to try and get clips, or where full stacks of pros go to make YouTube videos giving themselves some handicap in game. Due to the smaller player base, you're far more likely to encounter players that have a significantly higher skill level than you. You don't really learn anything from hot dropping and dying, in my opinion. Unless you think it helps, you better understand like RNG, where to land, etc, etc. But for newer players, I think prioritizing ranked over pubs is far more beneficial in terms of actually getting better at the game. If you want to increase your ability to aim, you should either play an aim trainer or just, I don't know, go into the firing range. In conclusion, 3-stacking pubs is cringe, especially if you are high rank. Newer players should go to ranked if they want an overall better experience, and skill-based matchmaking is completely broken across the board. I'm sure Respawn will fix it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe or don't. It doesn't really matter.
Man, I still go, 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 yo, go.
Oh my, I just cheated.